Hello again. Welcome back to our Health Focus. And yes, we go all out to make sure that our body, our organs are well taken care of, heart health, liver health, lung health, skin even. But how many of us actually make our gut a priority? It is a big thing and it is connected to everything else. Well, let's speak now to Antonia Gamble. She's an Integrated Gut Health Practitioner about what we should and shouldn't be doing in this time. She's also my go-to colon guru. I shouldn't be saying that live on TV, should I, Antonia? She's been treating me and helping me for a couple of years now. Welcome to the program.
Thanks for having me.
All right, so let's just talk generally, your expertise, your advice, the importance of the gut in our bodies and our systems.
Everything starts in the gut. Most disease begins in the gut. Your health starts in your gut, and it begins when you're born. What your biome is, as the previous people were talking about, building your immunity is your connection to the world and how healthy you're going to be. So you have to build your gut biome. And as we get older, diet creeps in, stress creeps in, people smoke, we drink alcohol, we eat badly, and all of that creates a dysbiosis in our gut, which is going to then show up in our body in other ways, illness, lethargy, mental acuity or not.
Yeah.
A lot of issues with brain-gut connection, it starts in the gut first. We've always assumed that it's our brain that controls the gut, but it's the gut that controls itself and then everything else from there.
And very linked to our emotions as well, isn't it, Antonia?
So linked to our emotions. If we're stressed, we don't digest food. We go into fight or flight. Our muscles, our oxygenated blood leaves our gut, goes to our muscles so we could fight or run away, and it becomes compromised. And that's okay if it's 5 minutes here and there, but it's all day, every day, week in, week out. And so our gut is so important that we look after it. And diet obviously is first prize. Be hydrated, hydrate well, chew your food. I say this.
Yes, I know.
It's my mantra.
And I listen to you about 80% of the time. Chew how many times? Remind me.
30 times at least a
30
mouthful.
times each bite.
Yeah.
And it doesn't take much. It actually goes by quite quickly.
It does.
Yeah.
And digestion begins in your mouth. So even if you're eating a poor diet, if you're chewing it properly and digesting it well, you have a better chance.
So just explain to our patients and our viewers what it is you actually do, because you perform things like Colonics as well.
Yes.
So explain the role.
So colon hydrotherapy, it's what I've been doing for 23 years, and it changed my life. It's a everyone, the minute you say colon irrigation or colon hydrotherapy, everyone goes into,
not me, no.
I would never do that. But it is just the most incredible thing, and it is very gentle, and it's not this ugly freak out thing that everyone thinks it is. It is slightly invasive. We fill a tank with water. I use a gravitational method. It's very gentle on the body. Our water is filtered. It's very clean. We use a single-use disposable speculum, and that's the ugly part that we insert into your anal canal. But it goes in a very small way, and it's very gentle, as I said. And then everything is in tubes, so water flows in and water flows out with your waste. Straight into the sewage, we have a view tube. We get to see what goes on.
Yeah. Well, I don't know how you do what you do.
I love what I do.
So what are you seeing? What are you seeing that people who come to you with, let's start with, what are the big problems people are coming to you
Constipation, IBS, those are the big problems that people are presenting with. IBS is very linked to emotional stuff, the stresses of their day, because that disrupts how your gut functions optimally. But what we want to do is release the tension in the gut ultimately, and remove the impactions that are also creating problems that arrive from the IBS and the constipation. So when we're gently inserting water, it starts to soften up any impaction they might have, and then we remove that. And suddenly we start to then release all of that toxic waste. The pH balance is then re-established in the gut. People feel calmer, they feel more in control, their digestive system then starts to catch up. Because we can be a week too behind in our eliminations. And that toxic waste is sitting, rotting and fermenting in your gut. That's going to affect the environment in your body from that.
And of course, you can't be doing these things and going back to having your cheeseburger and chips as your next meal.
Well, you can, but why would you want to?
But why would you want to? I mean, this is not the go-to thing to just go after every heavy weekend.
And it is where my integrative aspect comes in, because I do want to coach my clients in calming, how to react to stressful situations so that their gut isn't freaking out all the time, and advise them on diet. As I said about chewing and water, hydration is so important.
Are there some people who shouldn't be doing things like colon irrigation?
Yeah, so
is there an age restriction to it?
There's no age restriction. and starting from, I would say my youngest client I've ever had is 12, but I prefer to start later than that. Children under that age definitely respond very easily to dietary changes. But I have a 90-year-old client.
Wow.
And he's amazing. His health is incredible. So anyone in between, nobody with colon cancer, we wouldn't touch that. And then other things like ulcerative colitis, we'd also not go near in an inflamed state. I know that it is a contraindication for colonics, but I have worked with people with that before and had amazing results. We start with diet, get rid of the inflammation, and gently work with them in their healing process.
So let's talk about some of the misconceptions around, and you touched on some of them. We said, like, some people go, oh, no, it's uncomfortable, it's going to hurt me and all of that. But there's also that, when I've suggested it to some people who talk about problems, saying, but they take away all the good bacteria, they strip your colon and you can end up sicker. So
I love that when it comes from someone who's smoking and drinking and eating
not me, okay, not me.
Not you, other people. Well, you know, I don't know, no, not you. Yes, we are affecting the bacteria in the gut. But if you think about the fact that we're probably 80-20 bad guys to start with, we are removing some of the good guys with the bad guys. But we are creating a more natural pH. And we're creating, I always say it's like weeding your garden. You're getting rid of the bad stuff so that the good guys can flourish. And within half an hour of you having a colonic treatment, your good guys are thriving again. They're just saying, thank you, thank you, thank you. We can breathe, and now we're feeling more oxygenated and balanced, and now we can really colonize properly.
So you're also a big believer in probiotics, and what I normally get from you is a liquid one. It's not a capsule. And digestive enzymes. Just talk about the role that you advocate for.
Because we don't digest our food, we're always in a hurry. People are eating while they're busy doing other things, which I always say, please don't do. When you eat, eat. Focus on your food, because it's the most important thing that you can do in that moment. A lot of our prebiotics should come from our food. These are things that are feeding our good guys, as I think Cameron said earlier. So we want to make sure that your food is the food for your good bacteria, as well as for your nutritional needs. And so replacing with or assisting your good guys with a good probiotic is always a good idea. Digestive enzymes, because people don't chew their food well enough, will always support. But I don't say use that long term. We use it for a short space of time until your digestive system kicks in and your habits assist you more. And then your probiotics, I always say, try and use a live bacteria. We want it to be strong and virulent, and from the beginning, from the start of your digestion all the way through. A lot of capsules, they're freeze-dried. They don't make it all the way through. They've got to run the gamut of your hydrochloric acid in your gut. And, you know, it's a long way from here to there. And so we want to give them a little bit of help. And so the liquid probiotic is just a phenomenal...
Okay, so let's talk juicing and cleansers. And I know that you're passionate about these things, but good advice as well. But I mean, you know, it can be a big fad. Everybody wants to drop a couple of kilos. They want to do juicing, or they're not feeling so lekker. So your cautions and the do's and don'ts.
Well, the thing is that obviously don't just start a juice cleanse. Go and see somebody who knows what they're doing. I have a lot of clients who will phone me on day 3 or 4 and say, Antonia, I started a juice cleanse. I feel like I'm dying. I'm not okay. What do I do? And so obviously come for a colonic. Let's help you shift that the free-floating toxin that your body is now stirred up, so that you're not dealing with it. Speak to someone first. Juicing is a great way of cleaning the gut, but I use supportive supplements so that you don't feel tired, you don't feel depleted, that you're not using your own muscles for energy, and using colonics to get rid of that toxic load as quickly as possible.
And every day, I mean, for people who can't afford maybe something like a colonic, people who can't afford a cleanse or to do a proper juicing program, just your general advice on your choice of food. And I'm not sure you heard what Dr. Groenewald had to say also, but very much from what I know of you, what you talk about when it comes to free range, free of hormones, free of that, also not just eating, you know, processed foods and dairy willy-nilly as well.
No,
so
exactly.
your advice, because you
So I would definitely say eat from the tree, not the factory. That's another thing I like to give a tool to my clients, because our food is so overly processed. There are so many growth hormones, antibiotics, pesticides. We're dealing with a lot of negative influences in our food, and that's going to influence our body negatively. Your liver has to process all that, put your liver under stress. I know that there is a big, doctors will say, you have your own detox organs. They should do the job fine. You don't need to do all of these other drastic measures. But our society, we're so overloaded with all of these things that our body can't keep up. It needs some help. And so if you do want to do a 3-day juice cleanse, try and be as close to nature as possible. If you do need to eat something at night because you're feeling a little lightheaded or a little weak, have a vegetable. Steam your veggies, chew them well, assist your body through that process. Obviously, if you can, come for Colonic. The detox that we do, it's just life-changing. It changed my life. It's a phenomenal thing, and it's very supportive. And people say, oh, but I'm not going to eat food for however many days. You don't get tired. You don't get hungry, and your body comes back to life.
And what about things like our beloved coffees and teas?
So coffee is okay.
Unhealthy things, drinks we put into our bodies? Yeah,
drink the best that you can afford. Don't put milk and sugar in it. Sugar makes everything acid. We're not baby cows. Why are we drinking milk? That's my theory. And don't have it before 9:30 in the morning. Allow your adrenals to wake up on their own. Don't bang them into...
Okay, is that what happens?
Oh my gosh, I'm suddenly now awake, whereas I actually would rather get there by myself, because once you are here, you're going to dip, and that's when you want the next cup of coffee or that sweetie or biscuit or something to keep you going.
Well, I also like what you say is about you can't stop living. You can't stop just chucking out everything that you enjoy. The gut, yes, is great, but if you're unhappy and you're craving something, you're going to go have 10 times worse when eventually you cave in. So,
a lot of times our cravings are because of other things, other influences, our bad bacteria, parasitic a lot of parasitic life. Sorry, I can't speak English suddenly now. And they want to eat those things because that's what keeps them alive. And so we get these abnormal cravings for things. It's feeding your parasites, not you. So, the question is, who am I feeding when you feel like that?
What are the changes you've seen in your clients or your patients when their gut is in tip-top shape? What have you seen from when they were down and out to?
They are confident. They have a different demeanor in their body. Their clarity of thought is incredible. Their skin glows. Their eyes sparkle. They wake up feeling refreshed. They don't have manic energy. It's really good, sustained energy. They sleep well. Sex drive improves. It's always a good thing.
That's not a bad thing. One needs all the help one can get these days in these stressful times as well. And I think just a caution as well to those who might be thinking, oh, you know what, end of year is coming, maybe I want to do a spring clean, that kind of thing. If you do go to a certain place, what are the things you need to be looking for to make sure you're going to the right place, hygiene-wise and all that?
If you walk in and you feel uncomfortable, you have the right to leave. You don't have to go through with the treatment just because you've booked a time. Know that when you do book a time, you are paying for that person's time as well, and they've set time aside for you. But make sure it's clean. Look at their hygiene standards. Are they properly trained? Are they using disposables? You have to also connect with the person, So
because they're looking at a very intimate part of you. And, you're not going to get that close to anyone down there unless it's your gynae.
But, there are really some amazing therapists out there who will look after you well. Just follow your gut.
Follow your gut. Tell us about those gut feelings. I mean, I was wanting to ask somebody about this. That gut feeling, it's not just a saying, is it?
It's not just a saying. It's incredibly powerful. And I always like to say that it's your good guys, your good bacteria who are helping you lead the way, because they're incredibly intelligent. They've been on the planet for much longer than we have. So they know a lot more than we do. But aside from that, we have an enteric nervous system. And it's very complex. It's almost as complex as our brain. And it is one of those systems that works independently of our brain, which is incredible. And so it knows when things are not okay. And so follow that feeling.
What are the things that you can notice when people, like Dr. Groenewald was talking about the tongue and all of that? Do you notice things with the tongue,
yes,
with the
absolutely.
eyes? If you look at my hair, my nails, can you tell?
Yeah, you can, because, if your hair is lank and it's thinning, or you're losing hair, or you've got spots in your nails, you're not absorbing your nutrition well enough. So what is going on there? Or you're very, very stressed. And then you also you'll be using up all of your minerals instead of your body taking getting benefit from it. It's just used up in all your stress. You can see puffy eyes, the pallor of the skin. Tongue shows you a lot.
Yeah.
Is your liver functioning optimally? Do you have an overabundance of candida or other parasitic life in your body? All shows up in your face.
Okay, and you literally get to see stuff.
Oh, yeah.
You literally get to see.
Oh, yes.
You can tell what somebody had for dinner a week ago, right?
Well, just about.
Yeah.
You know, if you haven't chewed your food, absolutely.
Yeah. But does that mean that that type of food does not agree with me? What
No,
you're
it's just-
seeing coming up as a whole chunk of something that hasn't digested.
It's because they
Can you
didn't
tell
chew
me,
their
Yuveka, for example, beetroot is not good for you because your body is not taking it in, or what? What
No,
does that mean?
so some people do have food allergies, things that they don't digest well, and that will show up more in a bloated situation or a gassy situation. But most of what my clients present with, if I see food in their stools, it's not because their body can't handle it, it's because they haven't digested it properly in the first place.
It's that chewing thing again.
And that's
getting back
chewing
to
again.
chewing. Okay.
Your digestion begins in your mouth. Your teeth are there to mechanically break down your food. We have enzymes we have to get from our mouth into our food. Otherwise, it will go through whole. And I see a lot of that. And then what we've got is rotting, fermenting food in our gut. That rotten fermentation is not feeding us. It's not helping us. It's feeding our bad guys. And that's when disease creeps in.
And how often is safe enough for somebody to have a
Yeah.
colonic? I'm assuming
think
like,
it
you
really-
can't have it twice a week or something. I don't know.
No, I wouldn't do that with somebody unless they were dealing with a complex
Yeah.
situation. It depends on the person.
And it's not an answer to weight loss. Let's make that clear.
Oh, no, it's not an answer to weight loss. However, when your gut is functioning optimally,
Yes.
you're going to be passing your stools more effectively, your nutritional needs are met, you're not going to overeat, you're not going to be craving all the wrong things. When you're balanced, and then you will lose some weight if that's what you want to do, or with some of my other clients, put on the weight that they need to, because they're not absorbing nutrition.
Fantastic. All right.
A lot of stuff.
A lot of stuff, and a lot of stuff going on in there. Gut health. Thanks so much, Antonia Gamble, for
Thank
your
you.
time, and very, very interesting. And I mean, it is exactly, she gets to see what's going on in there. Up next, we'll talk about more about that diet and nutrition, and Louise Carter, a dietitian and online nutrition coach, will be joining us.